Welcome to our exploration of one of the most pivotal moments in Chinese history, the unification under the Qin Dynasty. Imagine a land fragmented, locked in centuries of bitter conflict. 7 kingdoms vying for dominance, their borders redrawn with the blood of countless soldiers. Yet from this maelstrom of chaos, a new power would rise, a force that would change the face of China forever. In just 15 years, the Qin Dynasty laid the foundation for over 2 millennia of imperial rule in China. They forged a unified empire from a patchwork of warring states, their legacy echoing through the ages. At the heart of the Qin Dynasty's meteoric rise lay a powerful philosophy, legalism. Unlike Confucianism, which emphasized morality and virtue, legalism offered a more pragmatic approach. It was a philosophy of order, a belief that human nature, inherently selfish, could only be controlled through a strict system of rewards and punishments. This philosophy seeped into every fiber of the Qin state, shaping its laws, its governance, and its very relationship with its people. The legalist system provided the Qin state with an almost chilling level of control over its populace. Every aspect of life, from the farmer tilling his field to the merchant plying his trade, was governed by a strict code of law. This absolute authority, while seemingly harsh, brought about an unprecedented level of order and efficiency. This allowed the Qin to mobilize its resources with unmatched speed and effectiveness, a crucial advantage in their wars of unification. The Qin dynasty's success wasn't solely built on philosophy, it was forged in the fires of the battlefield. The Qin army was a force unlike any other, a disciplined, well-equipped war machine that swept aside all opposition. One of their key advantages lay in their innovative weaponry. They were masters of bronze casting, producing superior swords, spears, and arrowheads that gave them a decisive edge in close combat. The Qin also revolutionized warfare with their adoption of the crossbow. This powerful ranged weapon, capable of piercing armor at a distance, proved devastating against their enemies, but their true strength lay in their tactics. The Qin abandoned the traditional chariot warfare, favoring instead a flexible and mobile infantry. They were masters of logistics, able to keep their armies supplied even on long campaigns. This potent combination of advanced weaponry, superior tactics, and logistical prowess allowed the Qin to conquer their rivals one by one, absorbing their lands and people into their growing empire. Behind every great empire stands a visionary leader, and the Qin dynasty was no exception. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of Qin, was a ruler of immense ambition and ruthlessness. Ascending the throne at a young age, he inherited a kingdom on the brink of greatness, and he seized the opportunity with both hands. Qin Shi Huang was a master strategist, a shrewd diplomat, and a ruthless pragmatist. He understood that to unify China, he needed to break the power of the entrenched aristocracy, and break it he did, stripping the old nobility of their privileges and replacing them with a centralized bureaucracy loyal only to him. He was also a man of action, unafraid to use any means necessary to achieve his goals. He crushed rebellions with brutal efficiency, silenced dissent with an iron fist, and centralized power to a degree never before seen in China. While history remembers him for his ruthlessness, it also acknowledges his vision. Qin Shi Huang was determined to create a unified, prosperous China, and he pursued that vision with unwavering determination. Qin Shi Huang understood that true unity extended beyond simply conquering lands. It required a standardization of culture and systems. To this end, he embarked on an ambitious program of cultural and economic unification, aiming to weave the disparate threads of the conquered states into a single cohesive tapestry. One of his most significant reforms was the standardization of the writing system. Until then, each state had its own variations of written characters, leading to confusion and hindering communication. Qin Shi Huang decreed that a single, standardized script would be used throughout the empire, a decision that had a profound impact on the development of Chinese culture. He applied the same principle to weights and measures, ensuring that a merchant in the north could trade with a buyer in the south without fear of discrepancy. This standardization of trade, coupled with the introduction of a unified currency, fostered economic growth and facilitated the smooth flow of goods and services across the newly unified empire. These seemingly mundane reforms were, in reality, strokes of genius, solidifying Qin Shi Huang's control over his vast domain and paving the way for the emergence of a unified Chinese identity. Qin Shi Huang's vision for a unified China wasn't confined to abstract concepts like standardization. He also understood the importance of physical infrastructure in connecting his vast empire. He embarked on a series of monumental construction projects that would leave an indelible mark on the landscape of China. The Qin road system, a marvel of engineering, stretched for thousands of miles, connecting the far corners of the empire with the capital. These roads, built to exacting standards, facilitated the movement of troops, the transportation of goods, and the dissemination of information. But perhaps the most awe-inspiring project undertaken during the Qin Dynasty was the early construction of the Great Wall. Conceived as a defensive barrier against the nomadic Xiongnu tribes to the north, the Great Wall was a testament to the Qin's ambition and engineering prowess. It was a project of unimaginable scale, requiring the labor of hundreds of thousands of workers, and it would become one of the most iconic symbols of China's enduring strength and resilience. To govern his vast empire effectively, Qin Shi Huang knew he needed a system that was both efficient and ruthlessly loyal. He chose to abandon the old feudal system with its inherent risks of regional power bases and replace it with a centralized bureaucracy that answered directly to him. The empire was divided into provinces, each headed by a governor appointed by the emperor himself. These officials, chosen for their loyalty and administrative skill, were tasked with enforcing imperial decrees, collecting taxes, and maintaining order within their respective jurisdictions. This system, while effective in theory, had its drawbacks. The immense power wielded by the emperor and his officials, coupled with the strict legalistic framework, created an environment where dissent was swiftly and brutally crushed. The Qin dynasty's legacy is a complex one, a tapestry woven from threads of both brilliance and brutality. Their achievements, from the unification of China to their monumental infrastructure projects, laid the groundwork for centuries of imperial rule. Yet their methods, rooted in the unforgiving philosophy of legalism, ultimately sowed the seeds of their own downfall. The Qin dynasty serves as a reminder that even the mightiest of empires, built on foundations of iron and ambition, can crumble if they fail to temper their strength with compassion and wisdom. Though the Qin dynasty's rule was brief, their impact on Chinese history is undeniable. The China we know today, with its unified culture, standardized systems, and centralized government, owes much to the legacy of the first emperor and his successors. Their legacy of centralized power, standardized systems, and monumental infrastructure projects set the stage for the future of imperial China. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the fascinating history of ancient civilizations. Gap 2S. While the Qin dynasty is often remembered for its military conquests and ruthless governance, it was also a period of significant cultural and technological advancements. One of the most notable achievements was the development and standardization of the Chinese script. This monumental task involved unifying various regional scripts into a single, coherent writing system that facilitated communication and governance across the vast empire. Gap 3S. Another remarkable feat was the construction of the Terracotta Army, a massive collection of life-sized clay soldiers, horses, and chariots created to accompany Qin Shi Huang in the afterlife. This incredible archaeological find not only provides insight into the military prowess of the Qin, but also showcases their artistic and engineering skills. The level of detail and craftsmanship involved in creating each individual figure is a testament to the advanced techniques and dedication of the artisans of the time. Gap 3S. These cultural and technological advancements were not just about showcasing power and control, they also played a crucial role in unifying the diverse people within the Qin Empire. By creating a shared language and monumental works of art and engineering, the Qin dynasty laid the foundation for a cohesive Chinese identity that would endure for centuries. Gap 3S. As we reflect on the Qin dynasty, it's essential to recognize that their legacy extends beyond their political and military achievements. The cultural and technological innovations of this period continue to influence Chinese society and the world at large. Join us next time as we explore more fascinating chapters in the history of ancient civilizations. Gap 2S. The Qin Dynasty, known for its formidable military prowess, employed a range of strategies and tactics that were instrumental in their rise to power. Gap 2S. One of the key elements of their military success was the implementation of legalism, which emphasized strict discipline and centralized control. This allowed the Qin to maintain a highly efficient and loyal army ready to carry out orders without hesitation. Gap 3S. The Battle of Changping is one of the most significant encounters that showcases the Qin's military strategy. In this decisive battle, the Qin forces, led by General Bai Qi, successfully employed a strategy of encirclement to defeat the much larger Zhao army. The Qin's ability to adapt and execute complex maneuvers on the battlefield was a testament to their military ingenuity. Gap 3S. Another key aspect of the Qin's military strategy was their use of advanced weaponry and technology. The Qin were among the first to utilize crossbows extensively, providing their soldiers with a significant advantage in both range and power. Additionally, the standardization of weapons and armor ensured that the Qin army was uniformly equipped, further enhancing their combat effectiveness. Gap 3S. The Qin's relentless campaigns of conquest were not just about expanding territory, they were also aimed at consolidating power and eliminating potential threats. The unification of China under Qin Shi Huang was achieved through a series of carefully planned and executed military campaigns, each designed to weaken and ultimately absorb rival states. Gap 3S. The legacy of the Qin dynasty's military strategies and tactics continues to be studied and admired by historians and military scholars alike. Their ability to combine discipline, innovation, and ruthless efficiency set a standard for future generations. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the fascinating world of ancient civilizations and uncover more stories of power, innovation, and legacy. Gap 2S. Despite the Qin dynasty's remarkable achievements in unifying China and establishing a centralized state, their reign was short-lived, lasting only 15 years. Gap 2S. The very principles that drove their success, strict legalism and centralized control, also sowed the seeds of their downfall. Gap 2S. Qin Shi Huang's oppressive policies, heavy taxation, and forced labor projects, such as the construction of the Great Wall, led to widespread discontent among the populace. Gap 3S. After the death of Qin Shi Huang, the dynasty quickly crumbled under the weight of rebellions and internal strife. Gap 3S. The harshness of the Qin rule had alienated many, leading to uprisings that the weakened state could not suppress. Gap 3S. One of the most notable revolts was led by Chen Sheng and Wu Guang, former peasants who became symbols of resistance against tyranny. Gap 3S. Their rebellion, although initially unsuccessful, ignited a wave of unrest that eventually led to the fall of the Qin dynasty. Gap 3S. The power vacuum left by the Qin's collapse paved the way for the rise of the Han dynasty. Gap 2S. Founded by Liu Bang, a former peasant and rebel leader, the Han dynasty took a different approach to governance. Gap 2S. The Han rulers adopted a more balanced blend of legalism and Confucianism, promoting a more benevolent rule that won the support of the people. Gap 3S. This shift in policy marked the beginning of a golden age in Chinese history, characterized by stability, economic prosperity, and cultural flourishing. Gap 3S. The Han dynasty's ability to learn from the mistakes of their predecessors and adapt their governance strategies allowed them to establish a long-lasting and influential reign. Gap 3S. The downfall of the Qin dynasty serves as a powerful reminder of the delicate balance between authority and compassion in governance. Gap 3S. It highlights the importance of adaptability and the need for rulers to maintain the support and well-being of their subjects. Gap 3S. Join us next time as we explore more pivotal moments in history and uncover the lessons they hold for us today. Gap 3S. Until then, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into the ancient world.